Look at him. Let me flash my chocolate starfish. Oh, that's how you know he's best boy. He's just playing with his tire. Leave Panda alone. See, if you would have left Panda alone. Panda's like just such a deeply unserious character most of the time. Gojo's such a big-dicked character that no one's gonna believe he gets sealed, you know? Like, that probably seems like the worst lie known to man, despite it being the factual truth. I love how he's still spread eagle. Oh, Panda. I can't take you seriously, dog. You need to chill. It's so complex. It's borderline too complex that it becomes confusing, but they nailed it. By never removing old Pupper here, we can basically predict which objects will be attracted to each other and in return smack them. That's fucking brilliant. Brother. Panda spreads his legs and Itadori gets a fisting. I'll be damned. You know, at the end of the day, I don't even blame Panda for spreading his legs for Kirara. Who wouldn't? Anyway, is it just me, or is this not a JoJo level power explanation? Now, there are absolutely times in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where the way they explain things, you goddamn need a flowchart to actually comprehend, but I think 70% of the time with JoJo, despite the stand complexities, you actually do understand what's happening, and it's borderline schizophrenic to the point that you feel like you're going crazy trying to understand, but you actually do. That's actually how I felt watching Kiara's ability. I really enjoyed the fact of how they explained the thought process, and the fact that at no point did I find myself saying, oh, I don't really understand what they're implying with this ability. This is seeming a little too complex. In fact, the longer it went on, the more I was like, man, I'm surprised. Like, it's a very fine line they're walking, but somehow they actually nailed it. And I think the ultimate way they ended up defeating them by basically because of how, you know, certain stars attract the others. And once it was in line, making a gamble, predicting which one you think would be connected, you then have your Wolfie pal smack dab. And I mean, between spreading legs and this power system, I actually really enjoyed this episode quite a bit. I mean, goddamn, production remaining tight, and honestly, Panda might not be too tight once we're done with them. Anyway, if you got a sort of video note to do, make sure you drop a like, show your support, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already. Yes, Patreon full live reactions and exclusives live over there. It does help fund the channel, videos just like these. Now, I gotta admit, the cog in the wheel, Mr. Itadori. This was a scene. It's wild when you actually think, now I haven't seen season 1 since it aired, so it's been a hot minute, but I still remember the way Yuji used to act and operate. And considering just how different he is now, man, even cogs have their place. He went through the fucking ringer in the final moments of this episode. And I mean, when you go from one of the most interesting scenes with these two last week, I mean, no one corrected me. I'm pretty sure I was right. That was indeed a rotoscoped episode, at least for that scene when they were talking in the room, just that one continuous shot. And I think it's so interesting too, because it felt like we were almost like looking in on something we shouldn't with how the camera was positioned, only to lead into this, where bro can get his face absolutely shattered. And is it just me, or is this one of the most big-dicked faces on planet Earth? Like, I've seen plenty of anime, shonens, fantasies, the like. Character gets their face pummeled, and hell, Panda, same thing happened to Panda in this episode, right? But the big difference between Panda or any of these other shows, you're not that confident. You don't look at that and say, yeah, I'm in excruciating pain. Usually when a character is able to pull that off, it's because they're so broken and psycho that they have nothing left to lose. But this wasn't a case of like, I don't care if you kill me here. It's like, no, I'm a cog. I'm going to serve my function, and I'm not leaving until I get what I want. Such a brilliant scene, and definitely a highlight for sure if it wasn't for Panda spreading his legs. Gaara's a super interesting character, though. I mean, I love the fact that when told that, like, hey, like, why would you guys need our help? Like, just go to Gojo. Well, Gojo's sealed. I love the reaction of basically just not believing, because no one, like, of course it's the truth, but given how people view Gojo, right? Like, that would never happen. So you're clearly lying, and you're so bad at lying that you're trying to rope me into something. Like, who wouldn't start throwing hands, right? Like, that's clearly a lie. And the only reason they ended up believing at the end is like, well, you defeated me and you're not beating the living shit out of me. I'm gonna listen now. So yeah, maybe you are indeed telling the truth. I just found them to be a very fun character. And I also like how it tied into Bro, because he was so fired up at the end with Yuji. And if it wasn't for Kirara being like, hey, come on, we know you're passionate again, because that was like the whole thing, right? Bro's basically like, the reason we're no longer friends and can have a conversation is I'm soft as can be, the passion's gone, Itadori, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. But once the passion was reignited, you just need that little guidance from your partner saying, hey, come on, we know you're passionate again, you don't need to keep beating him up. Alright, fine, I won't beat him up anymore. Which is really funny stuff. I honestly thought the character writing was on point this week. I thought between the both of them, their mindsets made complete sense given the circumstances and the knowledge they had, you know? And like I said, the fight was very fun. I thought Kiara's ability was super complex and yeah, it reminded me of like a Jojo stand. Now, not to the complete complexity as some of the time manipulation stands in Jojo's, but honestly closer to Jojo's than not, which you don't normally get to say. And just, like I said, hilarious that I just didn't believe. What do you mean Gojo Seal? The shattering realization that it is in fact we are fucked and we're gonna have to fight. It is kind of funny though, because it does play back into a trope that I think a lot of people don't like, but that is when the baddie or your opponent lets you stand around and think for 5 minutes, because the whole reason they were able to crack your ability is because you let them think and talk to each other, you know. Classic battle shonen stuff, am I right? Very enjoyable episode though. I mean, I do think the fact that this is they split the 2 core JJK season into 2 parts is going to do wonders for the quality of the production remaining. I mean, it's cinematic as hell. You can just tell that the director is really trying to make cinematic movies every single week, and I think they're nailing it mostly. I mean, this feels closer in line to the JJK movie than any past JJK season. And I really think because we're not having to worry about going past a 12-week runtime, because they will have that break, the quality, it should have dipped already. We're at episode fucking 6. If it was gonna dip, it would have already. I think we're in safe hands for the remaining. I haven't heard any rumblings about poor production pipelines or anything, so I think they're cooking. And you know what? Anyone who says they wouldn't be spreading their legs for Kirara, is a damn dirty liar. That's all you need to know. Let me know your thoughts, though, down below. Make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell, of course. And yes, Patreon, full live reactions and exclusives. Like, hey, I love to give video shoutouts to those patrons because they make these videos possible. All right, so today we got Casper Joel Jensen, George Parra, Car Goofy, Kevin Wallace, Antonio, Tony Keats, and we also have One-Eyed King at 25. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. You know, have a good one. What the fuck is that? Is that a phone? Players shall be able to view the following information on other players. Oh boy, hit us. Hit us with it. Name points, number of rules added, current colony. Well, well, well. New rule added.